Microsoft announces a painful number of job cuts, Blizzard's upcoming survival game gets cancelled, and the SNES hacker that turned Mario Kart into a living nightmare. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. We all know the gaming industry is in a dire state right now. 2023 saw a record number of layoffs across developers and publishers, and for now, it looks like it's only getting worse. Following Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they've now announced that they're laying off 1,900 employees. That's around 8% of all of Microsoft's gaming staff, and obviously, it's just a massive blow to workers. Now, redundancies following mergers are pretty common as companies try and work out skill overlaps and just streamline teams, but letting go 2,000 staff is a painfully high number, especially amid all the other layoffs we constantly see. On this show, we're guilty of not covering every single layoff story, because if we did, we'd be speaking about it every single day, but trust me, it's bad out there. Blizzard president Mike Ybarra has also decided to leave the company. He made the announcement via a tweet where he thanked all of the incredible teams at Blizzard, and the cuts are somewhat indicative of what the company is becoming. According to reports, Microsoft has shut down entire departments dedicated to bringing Xbox games to retail. We've already seen the leaks of the next digital-only console, so it seems they're going full steam ahead with dropping physical games. Luckily, that's not a trend we're seeing across the board just yet. We know that a huge proportion of PlayStation and Nintendo game sales are physical copies. Back to the layoffs though, and it just doesn't seem like the end is in sight. So far this year, around 5,000 people in the games industry have lost their jobs. That's more than half of the entirety of 2023. And we haven't even finished January. And it's the posts on Twitter and Reddit of those affected that remind us that every single one of those 1,900 is a person with their own story, dreams, and heartbreak. And I'm just hoping that this is the last big layoff story that we have to talk about for some time. Amid all the Microsoft layoffs, it seems upcoming games have also fallen victim too. Back in 2022, Blizzard announced that it was making a new survival game, making it its first property since Overwatch. However, as of the layoffs yesterday, it seems the majority of its team has been let go, and therefore the game has been cancelled. It was set to be an ambitious open-world multiplayer survival game with servers supporting up to 100 people, and from the concept art, it looked like it had this cool hybrid fantasy setting. It's a rather surprising announcement too, because as we've seen from the smash hit success of Palworld, there's clearly an appetite for survival games. In fact, they repeatedly sell well on PC. But for Blizzard's game, things weren't so simple. Codenamed Odyssey, it was apparently in development for 6 years. Not only that, according to Bloomberg, it was plagued with engine issues. It was built using their internal engine, Synapse, which wasn't ideal because it was designed for mobile game development. Now, the developers had intended to use Unreal Engine to build Odyssey, but ultimately, senior stakeholders forced them to pivot to Synapse. This led to all sorts of struggles, and ultimately, the game was cancelled. And if that report is true, it's yet another example on a stupidly annoying list where developers were screwed over by execs and stakeholders. I bet it's none of those that have lost their jobs. Anyway, what do you think? Are you gutted to see Blizzard's survival game canned? After everything that's happened with Overwatch, did you ever have any hope of it being good? Do let us know in the comments. One of the great things about this show is the comments that you guys share, because you lot are from all around the world and you often have fresh insights and perspectives that we can sometimes miss. So I'd like to give a shout out to Lord Kamel PKK for this juicy bit of information that they posted yesterday. While Palworld is blowing up everywhere right now, it's a particular favourite in Brazil. Why? Well, in Brazil, pau is slang for d, and well, you can already see the meme potential. First of all, the game is just called Palworld. In it, you often find yourself riding pals, riding so many pals, and there's even an item known as pal fluid.
After that, I've got 21 pal fluids.
So yeah, remember that next time you call someone a pal. I think we've had enough jokes on the show, so it's time to move on to a Nintendo-y family-friendly creation corner, the part of the show where we scour the internet for some of its best, cutest, or downright diabolical fan creations. The first one falls very much into the last category. Mr. L314, a self-described Super Mario expert slash SNES hacker and tool creator slash mathematician, has posted, in his words, the worst thing he's ever created. Now, the original SNES Mario Kart is pretty difficult. Trust me, it plays like a literal rusty 90s go-kart. So what did Mr. L314 do? He decided to give it Resident Evil camera angles. Yep, That's right, the camera doesn't follow you around anymore. Instead, there are fixed angle cameras littered around the track, which make driving a bloody nightmare. I mean, just look at it. How are you supposed to know where you are, let alone win any races? You're probably better off just watching the map view at the bottom. Some of the angles even have you driving towards the camera. I mean, I have trouble enough telling my left and right, let alone reversing them the other way around. Why? Mr. L314 is calling this monstrosity Resident Evil car, and it seems like he's more than happy for people to play it and stream it too. So if you want to give it a go, head over to romhacks.org and give it a try. Moving on to Zelda now, and players have been using railings and Zonai devices to build cool stuff since it was released. We've had TIE fighters, armored core mechs, and someone even made a whole Godzilla short film. Well, now Reddit user Real Dead One has made a reenactment of Apollo 11's journey to the moon. Yep. Really. They combined 7 railings, 6 fans, and 5 flame emitters to make it. And although it's not quite to scale, Real Dead One has recorded Link entering the ship, the initial launch, our view from below, even the rocket boosters falling off, until Link reaches the Jiritugumak Shrine, which is a big old floating ball in the sky, just like the moon. It ends with our re-entry into Hyrule's atmosphere with 2 air balloons that I can only describe as something our Brazilian fans might get a kick out of. Love you guys. But what do you think? If you've seen any cool creations, do make sure to share them. Maybe you've made some yourself. We'd love to see them. And that's the show. As we close out the week, I'd just like to point out that at the time of recording, we're 7 away from 1,000 subs. So please do make the weekend all the sweeter by hitting that subscribe button. Either way, we'll be back Monday with a fresh new week of videos, and we'll see you then.